and welcome to Only Stupid Answers. My name is Sam Basher. This is DJ Woldridge right over there, and we want to talk about Captain Marvel. She's coming to, what? It's been announced this week that Captain Marvel is going to make her appearance in the MCU before her official movie, which is coming out March next year.
But she already did. She was on a pager.
She was on. She had a pager.
A color pager.
With
a logo color pager.
Did pagers ever have color in them?
Man, I don't know. In the MCU, they did.
Everyone kind of had a friend that was a little bit more well off than they were, and he had a pager.
I did not have that friend.
You didn't have a friend who got the kind of cooler toys. Roxy?
Yeah, that friend I had, but there was no pagers.
Pagers?
High school, elementary school. Yeah, that's the kid. He was the cool kid. There was literally no one else.
That kid was definitely dealing drugs.
That kid was sick a lot, so his parents didn't know how to help him out.
Gotcha.
So he got a pager.
I don't know if that makes him the cool kid.
Hey,
I don't even really
you might be right about that.
I just love that Sam's looking at the kid that goes to the hospital every week, like, but he has a pager.
Hey, he's a nice guy. But no, we want to talk about the pager-wielding Captain Marvel in the MCU because it's been announced that in November we're going to be getting a Prelude comic to her origins in the MCU before her movie. And they do these Prelude comics kind of often for MCU properties.
More often than there was one for Infinity War that I did not know existed.
There's one for Ant-Man. I read the one for Age of Ultron because that was like the first time they did it, and it was I read that one and I was like, okay.
Yeah, they're usually pretty nothing.
Sam, no one knows what pagers are. Come on, J Shark. 10 bits. Thank you for the bits. Everyone knows what a pager is. They'll come back in fashion very soon.
What was the Age of Ultron one about?
It was about how Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch got their abilities. Ooh. And then what happened was this off-panel they did, and then they came back with them, and you're like...
Cool.
What?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
They did have some Winter Soldier tie-ins with like how Hydra fell, but then you're like, oh, cool. And then you read the issue and it's like the scepter was already taken, and you're like,
I feel like it's a missed opportunity with the tie-in comics to connect them to like the shows and stuff like that, because it's a low impact way of like having them meet the characters, like with Pietro and Wanda, having them get their powers from something Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. related, and so that way you don't have to worry about contracts and all that stuff. But then people buy the comic because hey, it's the interconnected tissue between the show and the movies.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
That is not.
Actually, I think it's kind of been proven that sometimes audiences aren't that mobile when it comes to that kind of stuff. When it's that integral to the story, they're probably not going to spend that money. But I did want to bring it up because they're going to be dabbling into Carol's MCU origins, which is very exciting. So if you guys don't know, Carol Danvers, played by Brie Larson, a.k.a. Captain Marvel, said that in a weird order, but you get it.
Yeah.
She is going to be in the MCU. She's going to be our next hero that gets her own solo movie, her own introduction, and she will be showing up in Avengers 4, titled TBD.
Yeah, and Captain Marvel comes out in March?
In March of 2019, which sounds like a date in the far future, but that is mere months away now, which is insane. But it's very exciting, and I kind of wanted to go over her origin, and also I want to kind of play with the idea of how her origin could be adapted, because it's what was said originally by the writers of this movie, where that they were going to try to kind of come up with a new origin that wasn't so tied to a specific character. I'm getting ahead of myself. But really quick, the Captain Marvel character in Marvel made an appearance way further back than I actually anticipated.
We're talking about the original Captain Marvel.
I'm talking original Marvel Captain Marvel, because there is
Captain Mar-Vel.
Captain Mar-Vel first appeared in Marvel Superheroes number 12 in December of 1967. He's a Kree warrior. He's got blue skin. He's from Hala. You guys have seen Kree in Guardians of the Galaxy, and if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., good for you. We watch it too. Yep. We know your pain. But he is a Kree hero that comes to Earth. He can camouflage as a human and hide, and he fights crime. Classic. He's got energy manipulation powers. He can fly.
He's got the
Negabands,
if I remember correctly.
Is that what his thing?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell kids what that is? Because I don't think that will show up in the movie.
Yeah, they're bands that give you powers.
They're very fancy wristlets that if you could slide those puppies on.
Very cool version of them is in the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon, where they kind of can become different like weapons and guns and stuff like that, which was a fun take on them.
They are nice accoutrement to any outfit, but they can also work like Green Lantern rings. It depends on what it depends on what you need them for. But Carol Danvers, she actually showed up not that far after in Marvel Superheroes number 13 in March of 1968. So
gotcha. So like a year later. later.
A couple months later. It's
Gotcha.
December, March. And then and then she was introduced pretty early on as just Carol Danvers, but then she took on the moniker of Miss Marvel. And her origins are tied into Captain Mar-Vel because they both worked at an Air Force base. She usually wasn't a pilot. That's kind of been retconned that she is, which I think is better. But originally, she got in this experimental energy explosion that grafted some of Mar-Vel, the aliens, DNA onto her, which gave her abilities. Correct me if
like
I'm wrong.
Explosions do.
Yeah, as they do. If you're near Bruce Banner, it's classic.
It works out for you.
It does. For her, it worked out better.
At least
than Hulk.
you know what? If they want to update the origins, they should do the classic where she grabs Captain Marvel's hand and then he's struck by lightning.
Oh,
and then,
you mean a Smallville? That's a classic one. Lois Lane got powers one time, and then that allowed them. No, Lana Lang did, and it allowed them to have sex. And it was a very weird episode of that show. It was super weird because it caused sonic booms and earthquakes. It was super. We could do a whole episode on how weird that episode is. But any hoozles, there's a pitch for it. We're getting ahead of ourselves, though. If you guys don't know, like we mentioned before, Captain Marvel, now that she has gone through many different versions, many different hero monikers, like she originally was Miss Marvel, then went to Binary, which was a superhero in space made out of energy.
Classic.
You had Warbird. Not much different there. And then eventually she went back to Miss Marvel and then Captain Marvel, which kind of makes sense. There's like Miss Marvel.
Also,
it makes sense.
The original Mar-Vel, Captain Marvel has been dead multiple times.
Yeah.
Only the one real time, but they keep bringing back versions of him.
Yeah, he died of cancer.
Yes, which is interesting.
Yeah,
so I think it's good that Carol Danvers is actually the more stable of the two characters, and so it makes sense to give her the classic Captain Marvel name. It makes everything clean and easy. Carol Danvers is Captain Marvel, and it takes away a lot of the complications of both characters. Yeah. And so I think it was a smart move on Marvel's part.
Yeah, no, it really is. But after getting that weird experiment done to where she's, like I said, energy manipulation powers, which usually the way they show it is she shoots stuff out of her hands, maybe her body, and she can absorb radiation as well. And she's the closest thing you're going to get to like a Superman character. Yeah. Because she's unbelievably powerful. Like she punches moons, maybe. Let's go with a moon. Yeah. Why not? Like I don't know if that'll be in the MCU, but I think she's going to look cool
could punch
as heck.
Ego right in the face.
Right in the face, buddy.
I mean, this is the best, 99s.
Oh, right. That would be a really cool cameo. You do like because we know that we're going to be getting Lee Pace's Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy. He was the main antagonist.
Maybe he'll be interesting in this movie.
That's a zoop from DJ. Can we get zoops in the chat? That was a good one. Maybe we also getting Clark Gregg coming back as Phil Coulson.
Love it.
Without not even a wink and a nod to Agents of Shield. I'm gonna pinky promise right now. If I'm wrong, let's come up with a punishment for me. What do I have to do?
That'd be a great deal because him and May were supposed to be tight for a long time, right? Yeah. That'd be a great way to incorporate May.
Whole thing was in like the 90s when that happened. As far as I remember, don't correct me on Agents of Shield lore.
Don't correct me if I'm wrong.
Don't correct me if I'm wrong. I don't care. Oh, there's Zoops in the chat. Thank you so much for that. No, she's a very powerful character, and it's gonna be cool to see her interact with younger Samuel L. Jackson because they're gonna do that de-aging stuff we've seen in the Ant-Man films.
Just put a wig on him and he'll be fine.
There you go. That's all you need. Or don't. Like, you don't need to. If it's Nick Fury's, we've only seen him in maybe that'll just add some diversity. Or not diversity, some
context.
There you go.
Yeah.
But what I want to talk about is, since the writers did talk about her origin changing, what would you like to see? And could this actually be a way of giving a wink and a nod to a different Marvel property that I think it's fair to say they bungled it? That would be the Inhumans, because usually she has a tie back to the Inhumans. If you guys don't know,
Kree and all that.
Yeah, Inhumans are human/Kree. I'm not going to go further than that. They
honestly,
they have a great ABC show. I dare you to watch it.
I think between that show and what's gone on in the comics, I think it's okay to put the Inhumans to a quick nap.
Just a quick nap.
Yeah. And honestly, wait a few years. They're going to launch a new Fantastic Four franchise. Wait till like Fantastic Four 3 and reintroduce the Inhumans in that.
And this is what you do. Here's a pitch. We're not pitching Inhumans, but here you go. So you have Fantastic Four go out to space. You get some elements of Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, we're having fun. We know that the Kree are out there interacting with the Guardians. Yeah. Like, who's Yondu is Kree.
Okay, yeah.
And then you...
is he?
Yeah, that's what they established later. Who cares? But you could have them interact with. Okay, now I don't care about this pitch anymore. There was something there that they meet the Kree, they meet the Inhumans through the Kree, blah blah blah.
Blah 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 blah. But yeah, no, it'd be interesting. I don't know. As long as they keep it straightforward, there are rumors that Mar-Vel will be in the movie, played by
Jude Law.
Yeah, which could be cool. And it'd be. I mean, I know the part of the reason they're changing the origin is to kind of move it from Green Lantern territory. But I wouldn't hate like he crashes and he passes the negabands onto her, and now she's Captain Marvel.
She doesn't use those now. She's just got the power.
Oh, really?
No, she doesn't use those. She's
un-negaband related?
Yeah, there's a it's Quasar that uses
BS.
them. Quasar uses them now.
Yeah. No, that's fine. The negabands don't matter. They don't matter. I mean, but something along those lines. He comes in, he gives her abilities, and she gets roped into crazy space adventures. That is literally the plot for Green Lantern. And you know what? Honestly, Marvel could literally do exactly that, and it would do way better. It would be way better received than Green Lantern.
Remember when Civil War and Batman v Superman came out? Because that was basically a dare.
Yeah. Remember when Doctor Strange came out, and it has a lot of similarities to Green Lantern, and nobody seemed to care?
Not at all. Hey, rewatching that movie,
listen, man, it's fine.
Hey, it's fine.
It's fine.
And the music's great.
The worst Marvel movies are just fine. So they've got whatever they're doing is working.
Hey, this week Chris Hemsworth responded to Thor 2 and he said meh.
Meh.
Because it's not bad.
That is the good.
It's meh.
It's meh.
Yeah.
I like it when he loses the hammer and he gets sucked to another place and the hammer's trying to find him.
It's cool when you had to work over 2 hours to get to that part.
Yeah. So for you, what is your take on a Captain Marvel?
Well, Sam over here.
Yes.
I would prefer I think you can adapt it in a way where you have him not being a superhero, but you have him being an undercover agent for the Kree on Earth already.
Because we know the villains are going to be the Skrull.
And I think they are. Oh my god, I forgot that element.
Which is really complicated.
But they have the Kree Skrull war in the comics. But here's my pitch of how she gets her powers: is that she doesn't have to be born that way, or there could be kind of like Star-Lord, where she's like half Kree, half human from birth.
Yeah.
But one element that you could do of actually taking her origin is making it more of not her taking abilities from him. It's that he's just a normal Kree and he knows how to shield himself, and he's undercover because maybe because of the 90s, because of NASA, they now know that humans are leaving Earth and they're trying to figure out what they can co-op from us to get them in the war on their side, on the Kree side of the Kree Skrull war. There's a pitch. Yeah. So, and during one of the experiments, you could still get her being near him and something gets mixed up. You get a crazy gene swap, classic. But because of her DNA, her human DNA mixed with Kree, something doesn't work right. And that's where you get your Kree abilities. That's where you get her abilities from. So he's not 100% sure, but he does, so he kind of mentors her to get these abilities because he doesn't even have them. Yeah. That could be a way of doing it. I know if the Mar-Vel fans come out of the woodworks and they're just like, I'm going to boycott this movie, that'd be a bummer. But honestly, I think it'd be
honestly,
cool.
They should be happy he's in the movie at all. Yeah. I was actually surprised to hear that, but I can almost guarantee he will not make it out of the movie. And really, he shouldn't. Yeah. He's been dead in the comics for decades now.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe because she's with the Air Force, maybe it's some sort of Air Force experiment too. You could do something where it's she gains
Shield
these abilities.
Experiment.
Yeah, there you go, because you're going to have S.H.I.E.L.D. being a big part of it. I think it's going to have a lot to do with NASA. Not the space race because we're a little too late for that, but there are shuttles. We are using them in the early 90s. And you get S.H.I.E.L.D. and you get the Skrulls, and I don't really know. You could have Mar-Vel undercover at NASA trying to kind of scope out what our deal is while also investigating Skrulls who are undercover as well.
How about this?
Check this out.
You've got Skrulls undercover within the government. Mm-hmm. S.H.I.E.L.D. knows that. And so Mar-Vel has been working with them to develop a formula to make a super soldier, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so they decide to give it to Carol, and as she's transforming inside a thing, Mar-Vel gets shot by one of the Skrulls undercover.
Keep going.
And then when Mar-Vel breaks out, Carol Danvers breaks out of her thing. She chases down the Skrull, and it's like, oh no, it's an undercover Skrull.
S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah. Granny Weasley in the chat, 5 bits. Hey Sam, can you tell all of my love tests that I should be allowed to explode a particle accelerator for superpowers, please? Yes, you should be. Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
That's my thing.
Think about that.
Okay, I like our pitches. Yes. You know what? Yours. I might go watch that movie later. But I want to actually know.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Yeah. We found out it holds up really well.
Also, did you know the Black Widow was supposed to be?
Yes. person who wakes up Cap when he comes to the future. Anywhoozles.
It would have been good, but a waste of however many films she was on contract for.
Yeah, she's got a little ticking clock, and we didn't want to waste one of those on there.
So that's Captain Marvel. Let us know what you're looking forward to in the movie, how you think that beeper matters, what you think her origin should be, and how complicated it should be.
Will beepers make a comeback? You'll let us know on Twitter at OnlyStupidAnswers.
Think the Vows out of stupid.
There you go. Or at Sam Basher or
DJ Talks Trash. Also, please go to onlystupidanswers.com for everything you could ever want about our podcast, including our new show with Trisha Hirschberger, Hard to Say Goodbye, which you can also find at patreon.com/hard to say goodbye.
Click right there. Click, and then like, subscribe, comment. See you next time. But click.